Misconception or first issue, that infatuation equals love, or not being able to distinguish between infatuation and love. Infatuation is the initial feelings of lust and attraction and those butterflies in your stomach, which most people tend to confuse for love. They tend to think that that initial feeling when you look at someone and your eyes meet someone and you feel butterflies in your stomach, and in your head there's like a Bollywood movie going off in the background, and you're in the field somewhere running through or something like that. That is what most people tend to think. They think that is love. And yeah, it's kind of weird. It's a little bit weird. But that is actually infatuation. Those are the initial feelings that you have towards someone. Love, on the other hand, is something that takes time. So as we know, when a couple, when they get married, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts love and mercy in their hearts, but that's the birth of the love. And as time goes on, the more you put into love, the love will grow and get stronger. Now, one of the issues I found with this point is that sometimes young people, they will base their decisions regarding the person that they want to marry or the person that they're in love with based off of their infatuation with them. So they may overlook serious issues of incompatibility, for example. So you have a brother and sister who want to get married, and on the face value, like if you were to talk to them, if you didn't know that they were in love or whatever, you would say you two are never compatible. And most likely if they were to go speak to a sheikh or an imam or something like that, or they got some premarital counseling or something like that, it's very likely that the imam or someone would tell them, listen, you guys have a lot of issues that you need to work out before you actually enter into a relationship. So that's the first thing. SubhanAllah, I remember once a brother came up to me, a young brother, and he told me, he said, Sheikh, I'm in love with this girl, all this kind of stuff. And I said, okay, tell me about her. And I know this brother very well. So I was like, okay, tell me about her. And I was like, if you can tell me about her, I'll give you my advice on whether I think, inshallah ta'ala, the two of you will be compatible or not. And then he told me about her, and then I realized that she is very, very different than him. And he was actually a religious brother. She was completely not religious and all of that. And so I told him, I said, listen, what's the deal here? Like, I know this is not like you. If I were to ask you, normally I would never imagine that you would marry someone like this. In terms of like your religiosity or whatever you want to call it, you guys are on very different levels. And then he tells me, he says, you know, Sheikh, I just felt like the first time I met her, you know, it just felt right. And I felt like this is the one. This is my soulmate. Inshallah, we'll talk about soulmates, inshallah. But he said, this is the one. And I said, okay, let me just ask you one question. And I said, think about this question and then tell me what you feel about the decision that you're about to make. I said, inshallah ta'ala, this girl or this woman, she will, inshallah ta'ala, one day be the mother of your children. She's going to be the person raising your children, giving your children the tarbiyah and upbringing and all of that. Are you comfortable with this person raising your children? And do you foresee any issues? And then he thought about it for a while, and I told him, I said, you know, go home, think about it, come back to me. And then he came back to me and he told me, he said, I don't see it. He said, I never thought that far ahead. And that's the problem with infatuation, that we get so blinded by this quote-unquote love that people don't tend to think beyond the attraction that they have initially. So that's misconception number one. I don't know how I'm going to keep this under 10 minutes. But
all for in one day.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين